Welcome. I am excited to share how you can enhance your leadership approach using the Energy Leadership Framework. Today, we're going to dive into 6 key leadership styles, and I'm going to show you how aligning them with different energy levels can transform the way you lead and inspire your law firm. Whether you're facing challenges or aiming to grow, our time together today will provide practical strategies for you to elevate your leadership game. Let's get started. I'm John Kormanik. I am the CEO and head coach at John R Kormanik Coaching, and it is awesome to be here with you today. So, an effective leadership, leading a modern law firm. This is what we're going to be talking about today. Let's dive right in. Here's the deal. Daniel Goleman said it really well back in 2010. Being a great leader means recognizing that different circumstances may call for different approaches. Leadership is not a one size fits all thing. It is situationally dependent. It is dependent on the person or people you are talking to. Remember, leadership is this thing that doesn't come about because of the position that you're in. You own your law firm, or you're a managing partner, or you're a partner and you have a team. That does not mean you're a leader. What makes you a leader is inspiring those around you to help you achieve your goals. So, there are 6 leadership styles that Goleman talks about, and these are really important. I want to share with you, I got these from a recent review of a Harvard Business Review digital article written by Rebecca Knight. It was published back in April of 2024. And so that's where I was reading, and that's where these leadership styles come from. And she was referring to an earlier work by Daniel Goleman. So here are the 6 leadership styles. Coercive, do what I say or else. We've all had managers or bosses who have been in that space. Heck, maybe we have been in that space on occasion. There's nothing good or bad about it. Remember, each of these have their place. They are effective depending on the situation and the people you're talking to. Authoritative. We may think authoritative as coercive, but it's not, right? Authoritative is when we set a big vision and we mobilize people towards it. It is quite different than coercive. Pace setting. Pace setting is a leadership style where we set really high standards. We set the bar high and we aim to achieve that result, that high bar, each and every time. We aim to achieve excellence. That is pace setting. Affiliative. We are focused on building the team and the culture in order to get something done. Team and culture is super important in the affiliative leadership style. And we have democratic. Democratic is getting the team involved in decision making. When you don't know what to do, when you don't know what is best, when you are struggling and you are stuck, this is a great leadership style to implement. It depends on many factors, the circumstances being one, the members of the team being another. We're going to talk about these. Democratic can leverage the knowledge and experience and expertise of the people on your team to help you achieve the goal. It's democratic is a collaborative leadership style. And then coaching. The coaching leadership style is focused on individual growth. And don't worry, you don't have to rewind the tape. We're going to get into each one of these leadership styles in detail, and we're going to talk about how and when they ought to be used, and perhaps some of the downsides of them as well. So we are also going to be talking about energy leadership. This is Bruce D. Schneider's framework. It's the framework that I was trained in when I went to the Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching to get my coaching certificate, when I pivoted out of the active practice of law and began this next chapter in my life that's now been existing for quite a while, in coaching high performing, outstanding lawyers. So this is Bruce D. Schneider's work. The chart is an IPEC chart. Some people get turned off by this concept of energy. Let's just talk about it, right? It's APB. It's not an all points bulletin from a police show, but it is APB nonetheless. And what APB stands for are attitudes, perceptions, and beliefs. These attitudes, perceptions, and beliefs, or energy, can be conscious. We can be aware of them, or oftentimes they are subconscious. They are running under the surface. We don't even know why we're doing the thing we're doing, or why we're behaving the way we're behaving, because we haven't stepped back and taken the time to think, what am I doing here? We are more on autopilot than we are behind the driver's wheel. So, energy, attitudes, perceptions, and beliefs. The way I describe it is, think transition sunglasses, transition lenses. When we're outside in the bright sun, the lenses get darker. That is lower energy. When we're inside, the lenses get more clear. That is higher energy. We're going to talk about those right now. There are two types of energy. There's catabolic energy. That is the dark transition lenses. That is feeling stuck, feeling hopeless, or feeling anxious, feeling angry, or feeling frustrated. Those are catabolic spaces for us to be in. Then there's anabolic energy. Anabolic energy are those when our transition lenses are clearer. The highest anabolic state is, according to this chart, of course, is level 7, a place of non-judgment. And we're going to talk about that. How I describe it is, think of a mirror before it goes into space. And there's people in the clean room. They have those white booties on, the white jumpsuits, the hoods. You want zero defects, zero dust on the mirror. It needs to be as clear as possible. That is your lenses when you're at level 7. They are super clear. Space mirror, Hubble, James Webb telescope, clean. The point of this energy leadership and the 6 types of leadership is to align the leadership styles with energy levels to maximize your effectiveness as a leader. That's what it's all about. It's about making you the most effective leader you can possibly be. I don't know if you can tell, but this stuff really excites me. I love talking about it. I love teaching about it. I love exploring it with my clients and really leaning into it. It's really exciting stuff because it gives us a framework, gives us a place to start and a place to end. It is critical to use the most effective leadership style in the moment. I said this at the top. It's impossible to lead only one way effectively. It can't be done. That's the lie that leaders tell themselves. Well, this is my leadership style and that's it. That's just a lie. It's a place that you're in because you're comfortable. It's a place that you're in because you don't know how to tailor your leadership style to the situation. It's a story that you tell yourself. And if that leadership style is not up to the moment and aligned with the moment, then chances are you're going to feel stuck. Your team is going to feel stuck, or you're going to feel anxious or angry or frustrated because your team's just not getting it. And your team's going to be angry, anxious, or frustrated because they're not getting it. and they don't think you get it. So again, that's catabolic space. We don't want you to be in that catabolic space very often. Is it useful sometimes? Absolutely. We're going to talk about that. But the most important thing, the critical thing, is to use the most effective leadership style in the moment. Never forget that. If you walk away with one thing today, that's it. You have to change your leadership style depending. Let's talk about the leadership styles, the 6 styles, and how they align with energy. The attitudes, perceptions, and beliefs, the tint of your transition lenses. Let's talk about it. So, coercive. Coercive is catabolic energy all day long. It's feeling like a victim. And so you must do this, right? You have to do it my way. Or it's leaning into conflict. Sounds bad, right? It's not necessarily. Remember that. That's the second nugget that you can walk away with. The first is you have to adapt your leadership style to the moment. The second is there's no good or bad here. There is what is effective and what is not effective. So coercive, catabolic all day long, levels 1 and 2. We have authoritative. Again, we may think authoritative is authoritarian. It's not. Authoritative leans into anabolic space. It's level 5, which is looking at opportunity and reconciliation. How can we do this together, win-win? Or level 6, which is synthesis. Shorthand for synthesis is we win or we don't play. We want to get to a place where we all win. The third type is pace setting. Pace setting is level 3, leaning into responsibility, or level 4, concern, service. The fourth is affiliative, level 4, which is all concern. It is all service. It's focused on team, remember. The fifth type is democratic, and that aligns with level 5. It's all opportunity, right? Democratic is leaning into your team, creating a win-win. Democratic is when you might be stuck because you don't know what to do, and your team, you leverage your team's abilities and their knowledge and their expertise. Level 6 is the coaching level. Level 6 brings in all the higher levels of anabolic energy. Level 5, opportunity. Level 6, synthesis. Level 7, non-judgment. Who's been led by this guy? I know I have. Who's led like this guy? I know I have, sometimes appropriately, maybe not as loud or as angry looking as he is, I hope, but in a coercive manner. So let's talk about coercive leadership and the impact of catabolic energy. Remember, coercive leadership is do what I say or else. We have level 1 in the energy leadership framework. Level 1 is victim, level 2 is conflict. That's where we are when we're in the coercive leadership space. The benefit is it is effective in certain crisis situations where swift, decisive action and a clear chain of command are necessary. You must do this way right now to fix it, right? Think submitting electronic filing that includes information that either needs to be redacted or sealed. Think about that. And after the send button is hit and you see it on the electronic site and you get it back, it's like, oh, no. This part needs to be sealed. Okay, you go to your legal assistant or your paralegal or yourself, whoever did the work and submitted the filing, have them call the clerk, have the clerk pull the filing, take it off the public website, and you refile it in the appropriate manner. There's no time for debate. There's no, well, what do you think? That's not a space that you want to be in when there's a crisis, right? The crisis is do this now. When there's a fire, you're not going to discuss the best methods of putting it out. You're just going to direct and act. There is short-term benefit to this, right? In the crisis situation, the thing that gets people in trouble is long-term leading like this in non-crisis situations. That results in a micromanaged environment. There's no individual ownership of the stuff. You wind up just telling people what to do all the time. Think about what that does to your time. You have 168 hours a week. If you're constantly telling people how to do it, what to do, you're not leveraging that human capital appropriately. So, leadership, coercive leadership is effective at times. Ask yourself, are you leading in this space more than you ought to because of the downsides of it? Authoritative leadership. This is anabolic energy and vision. It's driving towards something bigger. Here we leverage levels 5, which is opportunity, and level 6, which is synthesis. Opportunity is win-win. Level 6, synthesis is we all win or we're not going to play the game. There is a difference. The difference is in level 5, there's a distinction between myself and others. In level 6, it is we. There is no distinction. We win or we don't play. This type of leadership is particularly useful during times of change or uncertainty. Who's been through times of change or uncertainty recently? Yeah, right? Everybody. It can also be integrated into your daily operations by reminding your team members of the firm's mission in an organic way. Which begs the question, do you have a vision for your law firm? If you don't, it's impossible to remind team members of it, and it's impossible to remind yourself of it as well. So it's really useful in times of change or uncertainty. It can be integrated into daily operations by reminding your team members and yourself of your firm's mission in an organic, natural way, right? It's not just pasting it on the wall. That's not it. It's in conversations. This is why we're doing it this way. This is why. This is the vision. Let's remember. Client service is our number one thing, or whatever your vision is. Another benefit is it inspires long-term vision and high engagement. People are not just widgets. They don't feel like they're just widgets. They feel like they're part of something bigger, which is critical, especially in today's multi-generational firm, where I jokingly refer to the younger generations as the kids, because they don't want the same things that you wanted when you were in that space. They want something different. They want to be connected to something bigger. So this authoritative leadership is going to help with recruitment and retention. So it'll help your bottom line as well as your goal achievement. Pace setting leadership. This is the drive for excellence. We constantly strive for excellence. This is Amazon's every day is Monday, meaning we start new every day with that hungry attitude. The standard is the standard. This is Nick Saban, the former coach of Alabama football, who some consider the GOAT, the greatest of all time in that space. The standard is the standard. It doesn't change based on your mood. It doesn't change based on circumstances. It does not change. The standard is the standard, and we meet it. This leverages energy leadership levels 3, which is responsibility. I call level 3 the Saving Private Ryan level, meaning it really doesn't matter what's going on around us. The bullets are flying, the bombs are exploding, things are happening. We are getting to the standard. We're doing it. Level 4 is concern, service of others. So, infrequent use of this pace setting leadership in circumstances where employees are highly motivated and exceedingly competent. You can't pace set lead with someone new on the team because you don't know their level of motivation and you don't know their competence. This is when you really trust your team. Think of those, the thing that just flashed into my head, or the trust falls that people do, right? You've seen videos of them. So if you're going to trust fall, you have to trust that your team is going to catch you. This is the pace setting. This is the space that you can use pace setting leadership in. It's when your employees, when your team, highly motivated and exceedingly competent. Downside of pace setting leadership is the potential for burnout. People need downtime. They need to be able to step back when we have a pace setting leadership environment that is frequent, right? There is the potential for burnout. You have to be mindful of it and only use it in circumstances where it's appropriate, right? The standard is the standard. Yes, super important. Your team has to be highly motivated and exceedingly competent. Affiliative leadership. This is where we build strong teams. It's focused on strong emotional bonds and a team first atmosphere. This is level 4. This is concern for others. I want my team to work well together. I want them to be this photograph. If you can imagine that at your law firm. If you can't imagine that at your law firm, let me ask you this. What if it was possible? What would it mean for you, for your clients, for your team, for your bottom line, if this was possible? So we use this leadership framework or this leadership style in isolation to create positive firm culture. This is, you pick your moments. Look, I owned and led a successful law firm for 16 years. I know that this isn't every day. It's not every day. Could it be? I don't know. Maybe in your law firm, maybe it could. I don't know. It's important to have it occasionally. It's important to use it in isolation so that your team feels empowered, they feel bonded, because an empowered, bonded team helps you achieve your goals. Remember, that's what this is all about. It's leadership is about achieving your goals, leveraging human capital to do it, because you can't do it on your own. Want to go fast? Do it by yourself. Want to go far? Do it with others. That's what we're talking about here. In this type of leadership, though, the downside is it may not provide sufficient feedback to address individual performance. The team's doing great, but Josephine is kind of struggling. And this affiliative leadership doesn't lean into that. It won't identify it for her, and it won't help her improve as an individual. Democratic leadership, it's taking from the impossible in your mind to what is possible. You leverage collective strength. Here, we use team members' individual strengths to help us achieve our goal. This is level 5 energy leadership all day long. And we can lean into it as leaders in a really effective way when we're unsure of the best course of action to take, and we want to generate ideas. We are unsure of the best course of action to take, and we want to generate ideas. As a leader, this shows a bit of vulnerability. There's nothing wrong with that. Your team is going to appreciate it. You are not some person who must have all the answers when you're leading your team. When you're dealing with clients, you feel that way, of course. When you're dealing with the court, you feel that way, of course. When you're dealing with opposing counsel, you feel that way, of course, that you have to have the answers. When you're leading your team in a space where you're unsure, why wouldn't you lean into them and their knowledge and their expertise to brainstorm, to generate ideas, to move forward. So you step out of that level one, I'm stuck space because I don't know, I feel helpless. You're in level 5 because you're leveraging your team. You have to have a team that you can trust, and you must listen to their input. You can't just ask for their input and then go on your merry way and do something totally different, because you're going to create distrust if you do that. And if a leader is distrusted, there's no way that they can lead effectively. Absolutely, positively, no way. They can be well respected and achieve their goals by leveraging human capital, by leading. They can even be disliked occasionally and still achieve their goals and leverage their team. They cannot be untrusted. If they are untrusted, it's just not going to work. So, democratic leadership. And finally, coaching leadership. You might think that I think this is the best. I don't. I don't think it's the best because, again, leadership is situationally dependent. It depends on what's going on and who you're dealing with. So this is level 5, which is opportunity, level 6, which is synthesis, level 7, which is judgment. Again, we're talking about attitudes, perceptions, and beliefs when we're talking about energy. This is really useful during one-on-one discussions and daily conversations with individual members of your team. You can step into this. This is really good for mentoring and succession planning. Remember, you ought to, as a law firm leader, be training your replacement always. A coaching leadership style allows you to do that. It allows you to train your replacements. So let's wrap it up. Integrating energy leadership into your law firm. Here are the key pointers. Adapt your leadership depending on the circumstances. One size does not fit all. Remember that energy leadership framework. And if you just remember catabolic and anabolic, breaking down and building up, stress filled, which is catabolic, stress reduced or stress less, which is anabolic. Remember that. And remember, the most effective leaders switch flexibly among their leadership styles as needed. They don't mechanically match their style to fit a checklist of situations. That's not leadership. Going down a checklist is not leadership. It might be management, but it ain't leadership, and there is a difference. Here's your action step. Always, knowledge, you gain knowledge, and then you put it into action, because knowledge without action is useless. Take a minute, rewatch this, go through it, identify your predominant leadership style. Be honest with yourself, because if you're not, who can you be honest with? Access and assess, that's a typo. Assess your team's needs and your firm's challenges. You can access them too, but assess them, evaluate them. And then choose one leadership style to leverage during the coming month. Just choose it and be mindful of it and lean into it and use it. And let me know. Ping me, send me an email. Let me know. Send me a message on YouTube or on LinkedIn, wherever. Let me know what you've decided, what you did, and what you learned about yourself. That's it. John Kormanik, CEO and head coach at johnrkormanikcoaching.com. That's my website, johnrkormanik.com. Drop me a line. Let me know. Let me know if you want to talk more about leadership in general, energy leadership, leadership styles. Let me know. I would be thrilled to have a conversation with you. It was awesome being with you today. Take care and be well.